please state your name and spell it for the record? Your full name, please.
Okay, it's Bruce, B-R-U-C-E, Aiton, A-I-T-O-N.
Your middle name?
Middle name is Allen, A-L-A-N.
What is your birth date?
I was born on 29th of July, 1938,
Where were you born?
in Grand Rapids.
And how old are you today?
I'm 82 plus. I was the first one of my family born in a hospital right across the river.
And what hospital was that?
It was Itasca Memorial at the time, I think.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your ethnicity?
It's 50-50. On my father's side, it's Scotch and Irish. And on my mother's side, it's 100% Swedish. My grandparents are both immigrants.
Have you ever been to those nations?
I haven't been to Sweden. I've been to Scotland. I've been to Ireland and most of Europe, but not the not the Swedish countries. Or Scandinavian countries is what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been there. And I think that's probably because the language is much easier for me in Europe. So,
Did you, are you religious? Did you attend a church at all?
I attended church, but I'm not really religious. It's because my mother attended, my wife attends, and I go along with it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you go?
United Methodist.
Okay.
And nice church. Good people there, and I don't mind going at all. We've been going online here for the last year. We tune them in Sunday morning.
Get to be in your pajamas.
I was gonna say that's going to get hard to get over because
Mm-hmm.
we're about ready to go back now. Some of our neighbors belong, and they started going back in the last couple of weeks.
What was your favorite food growing up?
Mm-hmm.
Hamburgers.
Oh.
They used to call me Wimpy. You wouldn't know who Wimpy was.
I do.
The cartoon. Yeah, I used to go in the Marlon Cafe, and hamburgers were, a dime or 15 cents. I'd eat 4 of them.
Loved them.
Nothing to it. Yeah, loved hamburgers.
Do you remember where you were when John F. Kennedy was assassinated?
Exactly. At the time, I was a master at arms at the National Naval Medical Center. And I was at the hospital waiting for the ambulance to bring him in. And I was at the emergency room, and of course there were 100 Secret Service agents and FBI agents. They just elbowed us aside. But the convoy with the ambulance with his remains in it came in the driveway to the emergency room. We're working. And made the circle in front of the entrance and kept right on going back out. And went behind the building to a back door where they took him into the morgue. And we went to the Chiefs Club, and we were watching on the TV, everybody just standing there gawking. And they announced that everything, all recreation facilities were closed for 30 days. They run us off. So we sat home and we watched everything on our little black and white TVs. And yeah, it was a terrible time.
Right.
But I got pretty close to it there.
Did you ever see the body?
No. And then in the end, it was the pathologist was a Navy doctor that did the autopsy was a mistake. He wasn't a forensic man, and he missed a lot of stuff. That's all in the history books.
Fair enough.
They should have had somebody from. They got an Armed Forces Institute of Pathology in Washington. Those are the people that should have done it. Because yeah, it was a very sad time.
What is your perspective on the investigation? Your personal take.
I think it's pretty straightforward. There's all the conspiracy theories, but probably the only question is out there is who was Oswald working for, or was he on his own?
So, did you sign up or were you drafted into the military?
I enlisted.
Okay.
17 years and 12 days of age. My parents probably thought it was a good thing the way I was acting. I was kind of a teenager from hell. That happens. And when I look back, nothing I can change. So, and that was August 10th, my dad's birthday,
What year?
1955.
When you were finished with your tours of duty, where did you end up?
Well, my last tour of duty was Waterloo, Iowa, and I retired, transferred to the Fleet Reserve, and moved to Grand Rapids.
And when was this? When did you move home?
It was in August of 1974. And I'd been up here, 6 months earlier and bought a house. And so we were all set. And as soon as I retired, we moved into the house.
How did you feel being retired from the military?
It never bothered me much. I didn't have any indication, and I wouldn't understand it at that time anyway, being in the military for 20 years. In 1974, we were in the middle of a economic downturn, and but I had to have a job. The pension wasn't enough to live on. I applied at Blandon Paper Company, and as things were, they were getting ready to start number 5 production lineup, and they were hiring everybody that walked in the door, even me.
Even you.
In fact, there were several military retirees that, a couple from my old neighborhood that retired about the same time, went to work there. So anyway, I plugged away at Blandon for 8 years and moved up, and I was posted. My highest posting was a super calendar operator.
And what is that?
And that's a big machine that has a lot of large rolls on the sheet of a large roll of paper is set on it, and then threaded through these other rolls, and that's what puts the gloss on the paper.
On newspapers?
No, this is Blandon made paper for catalogs and magazines. At one time, they had just about all the big stuff. We did Look magazine, Life magazine, Playboy, all that, yeah. And the biggest customer, I think, was Sears and Roebuck when they were their catalogs. Carloads of paper went out of here to their printers. And anyway, I got the point. I was kind of bored with it. I'd been divorced and remarried in that time. So we built a little laundromat down on Itasca Street, 1980, and it's still sitting there, still operating. And then
And what was that? What was that called?
Itasca Coin Laundry.
And why did you decide to start that?
Well, a lot of people start laundromats. They just needed one in that area. There wasn't one in that part of town.
What would you want someone to take away from Bruce Aiton in 2020?
Well, Joe, I did my job, and I honored my country and my family, and I wouldn't do anything different again.